Hello, I'm going to share some of my tips on making the most out of a smaller garage than you wish you had. We all wish we had a bigger garage. We're doing car stuff. And I've gotten a couple of positive comments lately on some of the ways that I'm just kind of maximizing the space in here. So it's by no means done. I'm going to be doing something with the floor. This was a over-the-counter epoxy that I did 13 years ago. Didn't hold up. That's actually just cardboard stuck to the floor. That's not peeling up, but then all over there that is peeling up. So I'm gonna do like a tile setup in here. That'll be in probably the next part of the part after. But some of the things I've done to just kind of maximize the space. Put this into normal. So my garage is only 13'8" from that wall to that wall, and from the garage door to the back wall where the TV is about 18 feet. It's bigger than your average one-car garage, but it's by no means a two-car garage. So I wanted to just kind of wring out every bit of productivity and efficiency I could out of here. So one of the key things I did was, for my workbenches and toolboxes, so this one here, that was actually given to me by somebody. It's 20 inches deep, and so it's definitely nice, very productive. Holds a lot of stuff. It's got the hutch that opens up and whatnot. Of course, another priority is you need to have a place to put the keys, and you need to have a place to put the beer. Nonetheless, this bench here, I couldn't believe how inexpensive this thing was. The reason I got it's 7 feet wide. I got it specifically because it's only 18 inches deep. And so when you're dealing with a narrower garage, that, most toolboxes are 24 inches deep, and that 6-inch difference is far more valuable for me to be able to work around the car, detail the car, take off wheels, do brakes in here or whatever. That extra 6 inches of space is far more valuable outside that toolbox than being able to put a little bit more stuff on the top. It just kind of doesn't make any sense. It's not the heavy duty, so that's the Husky heavy duty. This is the Husky standard duty. I'm not a professional mechanic, so honestly, this will probably still last me forever. The draw glides are definitely nicer on that one, but they're all soft close. It's actually a pretty nice little unit. This drawer, I've got all my Milwaukee and Craftsman battery stuff, and a couple of other little odds and ends off to the side. One of the cool things I did in this cabinet is I made a roll-out shelf. This rollout part was not original to this. The cabinet was there and the shelf was there, but I added this rollout kind of charging station. Actually good to go, so we can take that off. And the nice thing is my Milwaukee M18 shop vac, clean out the car, fits just fine too. So honestly, I'm super happy with it. The only thing I did change was the wheels. Not that I'm ever really moving it, but those look a little nicer, but they're taller. And so on the sides of my garage, you can kind of see over here, there's a little curb thing that sticks out a little bit past the wall. And so when I had the original wheels on there, it was hitting the curb before it was hitting the wall. And so just by going to these taller wheels, now the back end of it clears that little curb, and I can sit totally flat on the wall. Definitely picking up a little bit of extra space, but if I had a gap there, obviously everything's just going to fall back there. So before I figured that solution out, I was trying to think of how am I going to fill that. I was going to put a little strip of wood in there or something like that to fill in that. Slat wall always makes things better. I don't have a lot on it yet. I'm still kind of working out some of the kinks, but honestly, it's just nicer looking, which was one of my motives. I'll definitely put some more stuff on there. And I also kind of put things out during specific projects. So I'll hang up certain things for a specific project. Like these are hanging up now because the next thing I'm doing in here is I'm going to polish and ceramic coat both the cars. So I got the Milwaukee polisher here. The polisher holder is great. It's got these little like Velcro things on the side to hold your pads. You can put your polishers in here. This little holder is great. It's not technically a slat wall accessory. It's actually meant to be wall mounted with screws, but it worked out well with just some small hooks. And so this thing's fantastic. Like I love the way that played out. Cheap one from Amazon. There's definitely more expensive ones, but at the end of the day, they don't really do much different. And so, yes, I know it's weird to still have these in the box. I love these little microfiber rags. Anything from the rag company I love. But I keep it in the box just so that it doesn't get contaminated. You know, it's spring here. We got pollen everywhere. So I don't want all my microfibers to get pollened. So I just kind of like shove the rod through there. A couple odds and ends up there. Some cheap microfibers in that shoe box just for like rags purposes. And obviously a box of rags and some power over there. I'm going to clean up the power wires and stuff like that. I'm actually having an electrician run some more outlets in here. This back wall, that's actually just my old TV. It's like 10 plus years old, probably 12 years old. Obviously used TVs don't really hold a lot of value these days. So it's a 60-inch Vizio. It's nothing special, but it was like either throw it at the curb or put it up in the garage. So put it up. I don't watch a lot of TV. Every once in a while I'll just pull up a YouTube video so that I can, maybe work through some project I'm working on or something like that. Otherwise it's mostly just doing, music in the background on the different apps and stuff like that. One of the next steps, probably a couple projects from now, I'm going to upgrade the speakers and stuff. I got some decent Polk Audio speakers in there, some old school stuff, and a subwoofer I built ages ago. So it sounds really good in here, especially for a garage, but that's about to get improved. I do have an attic above this, and one of the things, I think I actually posted a different video about this. One of the things that makes all the difference in the world with that attic situation, I run separate summer and separate winter wheels on my car. And so that's one of those typical pull down staircases. You've probably seen them. I put in an electric hoist up there. And so I can just, instead of carrying a wheel with a tire on it up and down a ladder, that's not ideal because I have 9-foot ceilings in here. I have this electric hoist thing. It's got a wireless remote control. I just strap the wheel on, I hit the button, and it brings it up in there for me. I'm pretty sure that's one of the other videos on my channel, but that was a game changer because now I don't need to have my extra wheels in here. I have 2 sets of wheels for both cars, so I have a ton of extra wheels, and now they're all up in the attic. So that was an absolute game changer. That's a built engine on a stand that's hopefully going to be gone soon. The receiver did have to mount weird just because I was working with X amount of space so that I can unnecessarily fit a 60-inch TV. This side of the slat wall is a little more productive just on hooks, but none of it really sticks out too much because on this side, due to the width limitation I have in here, I didn't want benches or anything really sticking out on this side too. So another polisher holder this way. As I'm working on the car, I have a holder on each side. I use the same one throughout. I just happen to have a different one held there. Some battery operated foamers and sprayers and stuff. Those things are awesome. If you ever check out the Cars with Keith YouTube channel, he was the one that turned me on to all those things. So for like wheel cleaner and all that kind of stuff, it's pretty awesome. Nice shelf tucked up top for like battery chargers and whatnot. Another pump sprayer. These work platforms and ladders obviously are great for working on cars, especially I have a X5M and a X3 M40i. So, getting up onto the roof to polish it and stuff, those work ladders are great. They're normally like $80. Wait for a sale because I think I got mine for like 35 or 40. It was a Black Friday thing, but next time they go on sale, I'm getting a second one because they are absolutely a game changer. Got the stubby Milwaukee blower to blow the car off, and these cabinets here, so zoom back out, just some absolute garbage. Lowe's prefab particle board cabinets. They look nice. I still got to install the knobs on them. They look nice and they definitely get the job done. And this is part of my wash station. So I have a few more buckets that are in the other room right now. But this, one of the other things I'd love to do, sorry for jumping around, but is upgrade the wheels on things. So this is a nice gear wrench stool that's got a little bit of a back to it, and obviously the trays, but I don't know if that's going to show up on camera correctly, but it is so much quieter. I bought some upgraded wheels that look more like rollerblade wheels, and so they are virtually silent. Like by comparison, this is my bucket dolly. That's empty too, and that chair is all metal, so that thing probably weighs more than the bucket. So I love to upgrade the wheels on things, but nonetheless, I'm in New York. I'm on Long Island, so it gets cold here. So I had a separate hot run into the garage. The cold was already in here, the cold spigot. So I had a hot run so that I can at least put warm water in the buckets, use warm water while I'm washing, kind of prevent a little hypothermia and frostbite and stuff like that. So I'm definitely the guy that's washing my car as long as it's 33 or more degrees. So you probably noticed pressure washer setup and stuff like that. Retractable giraffe hose reel. It's decent. The hose itself is not as good as like a Flexzilla or anything like that, but it gets the job done. So I got a retractable double arm hose reel. This thing is super solid. Doesn't move anywhere. Got a Griot's Garage deionized water setup with a built-in bypass for spot-free water. Got this little ball valve that separates, so if I want it to go to the garden hose or if I wanted it to go to the pressure washer, you know, I can have it to go to both. It's a nice little valve setup. So that thing goes up here, and then this is my pressure washer setup. So I added some sound absorption in there and some sound deadening too. So I have some Noiko in there. It's kind of like a Dynamat type of thing. So I have Noiko in there, some fluffy foam, some less fluffy acoustic absorption, just to keep the noise down, right? Nobody ever said I wish my pressure washer was louder. But I also usually wash my car in the evenings. Sometimes that can bleed into like 10, 11 o'clock at night, just trying to be a good neighbor. So I keep the noise down. I usually at least keep half of this open. I haven't noticed any heat issues with it. I mean, it definitely gets warm, but it doesn't get any warmer with the doors closed versus open. And with these closed, it stays really, really quiet. You know, the Active 2.0 is not a quiet machine. All the Active products are on the louder side. This is just to monitor amps. It can monitor other things too, but just keep an eye on the amps, because especially with the Active 2.0, if you use the wrong nozzle or the wrong orifice in your foam cannons, you can start to spike above 15 amps, and currently it's on a 15 amp breaker. So I'm going to have some more breaker panels, breakers and outlets put in here, so that I just have more electric. Right now it's just like normal. I think the whole garage is one, maybe two circuits, and they're all 15s. So 3 different foam cannons. The Griot's Boss is phenomenal. I mean, it's all machined stainless steel. It's absolutely gorgeous. But the nice thing is it goes onto the normal container it comes with, but you can also just put any bottle right into it. It's dual threaded, so if you're not familiar with that, it's awesome. Not cheap, but absolutely worth it. This one is cheap, and it's outstanding. This thing makes some amazing foam. So just kind of use each of the 3 for different things. And then this one's the essential washer. Here's the label. I don't know. It's essential washer. So yeah, I just used them for different soaps. Just makes life a little easier. So the Active 2.0 chills in there, and then it feeds out to this retractable hose reel. This is a ridge washer short gun. The whole reason I got this, honestly, the trigger doesn't feel as good as some of the other ones out there, but it has a lock for the on position, so you can just hit that button and boom, it stays on. Some added nozzle holders and stuff like that. But ultimately, my next steps, so I was able to still retain a good amount of width in here. I got some just nonsense marks on the floor, just to kind of guide for parking placement, just so that I'm somewhat centered in between the wall and the toolbox, actually. That way I have a similar amount of room on both sides. So it's really functional for what's really a one-car garage. So the 18-inch deep toolbox is kind of a must. If that was a 24-inch deep, it would just take up so much more space. There used to be shelving on that side back in the day, and it just really encroached on everything. So just demoing all that out, pegboard for the things I needed, cabinetry for the things I needed, really made a big difference, just decluttering the whole space. You know, again, that engine stand is going to go soon. So the next step, something I'm probably doing today or tomorrow, is adding lighting. So I'm going to close the overhead door. I'm going to pause it for that. So this is the ceiling. Again, it's about 9 feet. I need to add some lighting up there. There is some unpainted sheetrock up there just because that whole area is going to change. I'm getting a new garage door in the next couple of weeks. It's already on order. And I'm getting rid of the ceiling mounted opener. I'm going to do one of the wall mounted openers, so it'll just mount next to the garage door on one side or the other. And so that'll get rid of this whole rail, give me some more clearance. And I'm also going to get the actual rails that the wheels go on are going to be closer to the ceiling. So give me some more height in here, which is certainly nice when you're trying to work on the top of the car, you know, if you're buffing the top of the car or something. So I got a whole bunch of light tubes. I was tempted to get those hex ones that everybody seems to like. They're a bit much for me, and also I have obstructions on the ceiling currently. So right now I just have an LED like 4-foot shop light there. I do have a separate light fixture in the middle that leaves a bit to be desired. So I got a whole bunch of strip lights that are going to mount on the ceiling instead of hanging from the ceiling. And so that should be a nice improvement in how evenly lit it is in here. You know, it's not bad. It's a good amount of light, but especially when you're trying to polish a car, you know, you have very inconsistent lighting. And so I end up having to use, you know, extra lights like this and handheld lights and stuff like that to really see what I'm doing and getting a good angle on the paint. So that's going to be the next thing, is the ceiling lighting. But, you know, you can make a lot out of a not so big garage. Spacing wise, just for reference, from here on that side of the garage, I have about 2 feet from the door to the wall. So you see that 20-inch tool chest, you know, comes pretty close to that. And on this side, I have about 30 inches from the door to the wall. So the hose spigots were already there, so that just kind of dictated where that goes for me. You know, I added the hot one, but the cold one was already there. And so now that's just my wash center. I think in a perfect world, I might have put it on that side. But the nice thing is this is an attached garage. So that's my house wall. The other side is an exterior wall. And so with it there, that's well inside. As a matter of fact, my garage door is set back a few feet from the front of my house. So those run into the basement, nowhere near an exterior wall. So I don't even have to winterize them. Which is nice. So, you know, while I do have more space over there for benches and stuff, it kind of is what it is. And that's the door that leads then into the house. And so this was kind of automatically a path on this side. So I thought, you know, if I'm in the house, I want to just grab a tool. Now I have a straight shot just to the toolbox instead of having it on the opposite side. So that's thus far. And also, you know, take advantage of wall space. You know, yes, I got some cluttered up bottles just resting on top of my scissor lift thing there, but, you know, put the creeper up on the wall, hang stuff on the wall as much as you can. Yes, this is an underutilized slat wall, but, you know, take advantage of wall space, and it keeps your floor space. So the only obstruction I have on my whole floor is 18 inches deep there and 20 inches deep there, and everything else is on wheels and can move around. So that's the update thus far. I'm definitely going to do a few more things. I'm going to be leveling out the floor because there's some unevenness where water collects in bad spots, and do a nicer floor. But first is definitely going to be the lighting. Next will probably be the floor, and then after that will probably be the new speakers and subwoofers that I'm going to make myself. So that's the update. Hopefully this helps some folks. You know, I know not all of us have 4-car garages. That obsessed garage can come in and turn into a masterpiece. So, yeah, hopefully some of this can help you make more of your garage and use it. Turn some wrenches, polish some cars, make your cars pretty. All right, enjoy.